What's going on, guys? Trying to get stuff in position here. So anyway, what we're working on today is some of this, actually one of the videos haven't been out yet, but I was having a string of bad luck with some ESCs and stuff, as you guys, some of your other videos know. I was having a lot of problems with the Kraton 4S. And what I did, a lot of process of elimination, found out that the ESC was bad in the Kraton 4S. I swapped the motor around, transmitters, receivers, that kind of stuff, and found out that ESC was bad in that one. Also on the Outcast, like I said, that's the video I haven't posted up just yet. But the other day I took the Outcast and the Kraton EXB out for a little run at the motocross track. And as soon as I plugged the battery in to the Outcast and fired it up, smoke started pouring out of the receiver box. What's going on, Landon? Lyndon RC 215. But anyway, smoke started pouring out of the receiver on the Outcast 4S. So thought the receiver was bad naturally. Well, came back through another, I came back and decided to order a new receiver and transmitter combo for the Outcast. And I got this in. Show you what it is. I also did a little unboxing video of this that'll be coming out here shortly. What's going on, Shane? How's it going, buddy? I ordered one of these Surpass Hobby Channel 6 radio control. They're basically the Dumbo RC receiver controllers. They're all made by the same company, just different stickers put on them. I heard a lot of good stuff about the Dumbo stuff. People really like them. They got great range, really good response. So I ordered one of these for it because these also take the same receiver as the Dumbo. But anyway, I ordered one of these, put the receiver in the Outcast, hooked it all back up again. It kind of fired up. I had throttle, but no steering. So it's like, okay, what's going on? So I checked the servo on it and came to find out the servo was burned up, completely locked up and gone. What's going on, Dan? How's it going, buddy? On the road to drifting to Typhon. Nice. We'll talk about my Typhon 6S here a little bit too. I took that thing out to an actual racetrack for the first time 2 nights ago. And I've never been on a track before. And I'll tell you what, I had an absolute blast out there with that thing. But anyway, so I got the receiver in the Outcast, had throttle but no steering, found out the servo was burned up. Well, after a little bit of process elimination and talking with some of the other good people out there on a couple of the ARMA sites, found out, well, before I did that, actually, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. I hooked another servo up to it, thinking, okay, maybe the servo was bad and that's what caused the receiver to burn up. So I threw another servo in it, hooked it back up, worked for like 5 seconds, and smoke started pouring out of the new servo. So I'm like, all right, well, something else obviously with the ESC or something's got to be wrong here. So I measured the voltage coming out of the ESC to the receiver on the red and black wire. And they're supposed to be on, from what I've understood, on all the RTR models with the stock BLX type system, there's supposed to be somewhere between like 5 and 6 volts coming on that line. Well, I found out I had 20 volts leaving that thing. So the ESC was also bad on the Outcast and what was causing it. I could have got like a little voltage regulator that they use for drones and stuff. I could have thrown online to drop that voltage down, to around 5 or 6 volts. But, I had both the cars are around a year, maybe a year and 4 months old or so. So I called Horizon real quick, explained to them what was going on with the Outcast, told them, that it burned up, the ESC's screwed up, what it's doing. Told them what my diagnosis was on that. And they said, oh yeah, we'll send you a new ESC. And also, since you burned up your servo, we'll send you a new servo. While I was on the phone with them, I told them what was going on with the Kraton 4S. And he said, oh yeah, we'll send you a new ESC for that. So nice enough to ARMA. They sent me a new ESC for the Outcast 6S, one for the Kraton 4S. They also sent me a servo for the Outcast. This is not exactly what I was expecting, but it'll at least get the car up and running for now. But I'm going to order a different servo, obviously, for long-term use for it. But the goal is to get the thing up and running again tonight and to finally get the Kraton 4S up and running. So that's what we're working on. But as far as these transmitters receivers guys go, this thing's got a really nice feel to it, guys. I honestly really like this transmitter. It feels good in hand. So if you're looking for a cheap radio to replace out your stock one, so far seems pretty nice. It was only like $30 for a transmitter receiver on Amazon. But I think what we're going to pull out here first is going to be the Kraton. We're going to work on the Kraton 4S first here and get this thing back up and running, hopefully. With my luck, you guys might get to see some more smoke tonight. As long as I don't need battery fires, I don't care. Dan. Just checking out some of the... All right, guys. Well, we're going to start working on this thing. I also have to switch out the motor because when I was messing with this Kraton 4S, you know, I tried throwing some different ESCs in here and different motor combos to try to see what was going on with it. And by the end of it, it came down that it was the ESC. I don't know if there's a busted wire. I can't, you know, none of the lead wires seem to be busted. I couldn't find anything with like motor wires on it. But there's something wrong internally on the ESC that's obviously calling it. Yeah, damn, I hope I don't see smoke. I've had enough of things going up in smoke lately between batteries, receivers, ESCs. My basement is starting to permanently smell like, I don't even know, a hot plastic dumpster fire anymore. And so many different things. The smell had finally completely gone away, and I even had a neutral party in the basement here the other day, and I asked them if they could smell any of the plastic smell down here from the lipo fire, and they said they couldn't smell it, so I think it has finally all gone away down here. But I'll tell you what, after six or seven batteries going up in flames all at the same time, it created quite a stench, I'll tell you that. I appreciate you coming and watching. I'm going to sit right next to you, Dan. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Figured finally got some parts in here to do a little work on these things, and figured bring everybody along. But I got to get the motor, because I was just playing around trying to find different issues with what could have been going on. I threw... this was a 3S motor I threw in there just to try and hook up and see if I could get anything to work at the time, because I was just trying to be sure what was going on, because you have to talk to people. It was like, well, you know, it could be still the motor, it could be the ESC. But inevitably it came down to it was the ESC. At least I feel about 99% sure that that's what's going on here. So hopefully when we get this thing changed out, we'll finally have this car back up and running again. I haven't even barely got to really test out these new shocks and stuff on here. I used them briefly, these ZD Racing shocks, and they felt really good. Really liked them so far. What's up, RC for all? What's going on, guys? I don't know if you can see RC for all, but we got your sticker up here on the banner. I appreciate you sending those my way. Got some really nice stickers made up there, guys, too. Those are nice looking. If any of you guys never visited their channel, go check them out sometime. They built a really fun looking indoor RC crawl track when you got the nice winter cold days and stuff. What's going on, Esther? Heavy Metal, how's it going? What's going on, Ben? Backyard crawling in the house. Glad you're finally out of Facebook jail, buddy. Many of us have been there. This lovely Velcro jammed on here. Trying to get this garbage off. But I was wanting to get these cars fixed up here before I got to leave. I got to head down to, I got to actually head towards Ben Carpenter's way. I don't know if any of you other guys live down that way, but I got to go down to Tampa for work for almost 2 weeks. I got to go down there and work, going to the Super Bowl and doing some stuff down there. So be down there for a while, but don't worry. I have gotten a bunch of videos, kind of started working on a lot of videos and putting a lot of time getting some stuff made up for while I'm gone, so I can continue to have some content going on the channel here. So I'm going to first get I guess we'll get this motor out of this thing and get the original VLX motor back in this thing. This thing is all running the stock system in it. Moving stuff around on myself. Now I can't find things. I don't remember where I put the motor. There it is. Got the original VLX motor here. And not too long ago, I replaced the bearings in this thing, and everything still feels really good. So we're going to continue to use it. You're from right outside Tampa. Nice. I think I'm going to take Don with me. I don't know how much we'll get to run, but I'm planning on taking Don my little mini Losi with me. I'm considering taking the Typhon 6S with me, but I got to find a set of paddle tires because we're going to be staying right down on the beach pretty much. I know work life is tough sometimes. We're staying down there, and if I can get a hold of a set of paddle tires for the Typhon 6S before I head down there, that could be a lot of fun to run around down there. But I'm definitely going to take the Losi Mini T and mess around with it a little bit. Just because it easily fits in my backpack, and that's why I bought the car originally, was just to be able to throw it in my backpack and take it with me on trips and stuff when I want to. Oh, you're in PA. What's I'm at? I'm in PA. What area of PA are you at again? I think I may have talked to you about this before. So I apologize if I'm asking the same question again. Traxxas Slash 4x4 or the Arrma Seton 3S? Well, if you're wanting a short course truck, I've owned both of them. My Seton's up there is kind of, I tore it apart at the moment, but if I was buying either one of them again, I would still buy the Arrma Seton again for a short course truck. Mainly due to, now this is just going off of my past luck with the cars, but I had better luck with it not overheating, because my Seton, every time I tried to run it on the hotter days, the thing constantly overheated on me, and I had a lot of problems with that, and a lot of issues with breaking drive shafts. And it drove me crazy, to be honest with you. So if I was going with either one of those cars again, I would go with the Seton. If you're not wanting to go with a short course truck and something around the 3S line, I would definitely consider the Typhon 3S, because it's a blast, or the Big Rock. But if you're wanting more of the Big Rock's an all-around just great basher. The thing is awesome for just about everything. Skate parks, into grass, the thing doesn't care. It puts up with a lot of abuse. What's up, going, Simon? Finally got... Oh, you got to I have to go with the Big Rock? Those things are awesome. Yeah, the Big Rocks are just an all-around, they're a blast. Those trucks, I've had a ton of fun with mine, and I have put it through some pretty good punishment. If any of you guys have seen any of the videos from, I've had that truck out, and it is just, the thing puts up with a lot of abuse, and it just keeps on rolling. I don't remember what I did with my original spur gear, and honestly, I don't even remember which one I had on. This thing is stock now. So that's kind of, I don't even know what tooth this is. I can't really tell. I'm trying to see in the light here. I could see some stamping, I thought. Maybe not. Well, I don't know which one was on here, but this is what it's going to get. Now, this is not the one, because I must have had a... Wonder what I did with that. I took it off the car, apparently, and I don't know where I put it. Take a look through my... Because I obviously left the grub screw in it. I'm not seeing it. This is what stinks when you tear stuff apart, and then you don't remember where you put the parts that you tore apart. Because none of these are the right ones. The other ones are for the smaller shaft, and the other one is for that, not for the right one. So, maybe I stuck it down in this little container. My other miscellaneous little parts bin. Everybody's got these, I'm sure. With all the stuff that you don't need right now, but you don't want to get rid of. See, these all have a different pitch on them. But I ordered a whole bunch of different gears for this, for a bunch of the armor motors. But I think what I'm going to do is just take one of these grub screws and use that other pinion. Because I don't seem to see the original pinion I used, which is weird. I don't know where I put it. I thought I left it on the motor. Or I usually stick stuff in this. But they're in neither place, so we'll go with this. I also may have just removed the grub screw from it and not even realized I did it. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat here too. Yeah, the Big Rock is awesome. It's just an all-around great truck. Stay filled before. Hey, Ben. I thought I was organized. I thought I had what I needed together, but you know, as they say, I kind of forgot about my pinion that I had removed it from that motor. I didn't think I did, but obviously I did. It's weird because now I don't see the pinion or the grub screw I had from it. But this will work. Get this thing back in here again. I got to see where I had it mounted though, because I honestly don't remember. This is definitely not the right pinion I had on this thing. And I wish I knew where I put the original one. Kind of strange. Because I have a feeling this is going to be geared up too high. And then I'll probably start dealing with overheating issues and who knows what else. But I don't know where I put it. I really thought I left it with the car. But I don't see it anywhere. So yeah, I'm all disorganized right now. See if I can find another one that I can use in here. I don't think this is the right pitch gears for this thing. No, they are not. That's the other problem I'm running into. That spider gears for the ESC. Well, this is kind of crazy. I don't know where it went. I have lost my pinion gear for this thing. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where else I could have possibly put it. I don't think I left it up there. No. Well, I'm going to look through this thing one more time. I'm just going to try and go with what I got. On your best behavior. I'm sorry, Heavy Metal. I think I forgot. Yeah, it probably is on the floor, Rocky, but it's probably rolled underneath one of my multiple benches in here. So I don't know where at this point. Problem is, I got a ton of them, but not all of them have the right shaft. Yeah, it's not in here. I think it's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. Just have no idea where now. So I guess I'll go with this one. I don't think I got a choice. I don't see it anywhere else. Weird. Usually I always stick stuff in a little plastic bottle and stick it inside the car. But apparently I didn't do that. Well, actually, this gearing's not going to work either because it's the wrong pitch teeth. Well, maybe I won't be finishing up the Kraton 4S tonight. I have no idea where the gear went. This is strange. I'm going to look in my bin. Sorry, guys. I got to try to find this thing for a second because I have no idea where it went to. It vanished on me. Aha. I left it on the other motor I was trying to use. I was switching motors around and all kinds of stuff trying to figure out what was wrong with this thing. And I forgot I had this is a 2600 kV 4-pole motor that I threw in there just to try to test it out and find out if it was a motor problem or an ESC problem. And I left it on that. So now we're back in business. I'm sorry, Heavy Metal. Where did you say you were at now? I think I missed it. Oh, Lehigh Valley. Okay. Sorry. What's in the vape? It's just nicotine. I quit smoking like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago and just started using that. And I haven't completely kicked the vape habit yet either. But I'm not from California, Rocky. We can't just throw whatever we want in our vapes, you know. Probably soon, though. All the different states are going. I got to find out which holes I got to use again in this thing. It's always the fun part. Big thing is trying to figure out which pinion. I don't remember what gear this is, and it doesn't say. This is turning into more fun than anything. But yeah, I'm Heavy Metal. I'm from just a little bit north of Pittsburgh. Why can't... There they are. Getting them lined up, I think. What's everybody else doing? Having any fun out there tonight? Stop Hardcore. How's it going, guys? I'm just here losing pinions and losing my mind, apparently. I think that'll work. Or maybe not. Always trying to find the right spacing and getting the motor spun the right direction is always fun sometimes. If I remembered what gearing I actually had on this thing, it'd be easier. Yeah, there's been lots of breakages lately everywhere. I swear there has been more stuff burning up and breaking lately. And I know it's due to the snow. Some of it's had to do with running them in the snow and the cold weather and stuff. At least on my end. But I've also just plain had a lot of bad luck with the receivers and weird stuff going on lately. Why is that pinion not lining up right? Should have never taken this motor thing out of here, but I had to test it out and find out what was going on, if it was a motor ESC issue. Do any of you guys out there race RCs? Because I'm kind of curious. The other night, if any of you guys seen the post I had up about it, for the first time I went to an actual racetrack and ran and had a really good time. Honestly, I had a really fun time out there. And, you know, I'm thinking about trying to get maybe some sort of actual race buggy. Nothing ridiculous. I'm not looking to spend, you know, freaking $1,000 or something. But just something I could take up there and have some fun that's a little more suited for the racetrack. Been looking around at some different things with Team Associated and other ones like that, but I haven't made a decision yet on what I want to try and get. But I had the Typhon 6S up there, and honestly, I mean, it did pretty well. I mean, I literally pulled the thing out of the box. This is the only things I did with it. It was the first run I used with this thing, but I pulled it out of the box. I turned the suspension down a little bit, and I started running it at the track. I put together a video. It'll be up here in the next day or so. But I got it and really quickly learned why everyone runs these style tires at a track, because the stock tires that were on this thing were horrible on the track. I mean, just traction and sliding around and stuff were terrible. So I went back into the hobby shop, bought a set of these tires and threw it on there. And I mean, it was a night and day difference on how this thing handled. Thing was so much fun. I mean, we had a blast up there. I just completely just zoned out, sitting up there just doing laps around that track for hours. I mean, we went up there with the original intention of running for maybe like, you know, a couple hours, having some fun. And we sat there the whole night until we closed the place. We had so much fun up there at the track. It was a good time. There's a local, you got a local track. Yeah, this it's a carpet track. See, I haven't ran at a carpet track yet. This one was a dirt track. It was an indoor dirt track. So I haven't ever used the carpet style yet. But I kind of liked the indoor dirt. It was a lot of fun. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to read some of these comments here and see what's going on. Do you know what he has done to it, Rocky, on, you know, as far as what he's all done to his Typhon 6S? Has he changed out? Is he using a stock suspension? I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot to go by to know if mine was doing decent on the track, especially since it was the first time I was ever on a track. But, like, I don't know if there's a lot of stuff I should try to do or to it or change, or what I should do or change, because the racetrack world is, you know, not my thing. I'm not familiar with it. So any advice I'm getting from people is definitely appreciated. Yeah, honestly, guys, I was surprised. You know, I was up at this place one time at the hobby shop. It's about an hour away from me. But it was the first time I ever gone up there. Like I said, you can see a friend of mine, he just had recently bought a Kraton 3S. Well, it was a Kraton Mega, and they converted it while we were up there. We threw the Firma brushless system in it for him, and I got the thing running on 3S. But that was the first time either one of us were running on a track, and it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. Well, now we finally got the motor back in there. We can finally get to the actual ESC part. Reef servo and stock suspension. A couple guys up there at the track told me, they said, you got to go with a different servo because the servo on it is obviously kind of slow. But yeah, the suspension, the only thing I was noticing, and I don't know if it's just the characteristics of a track, but like I was just noticing on a few of the little kickers that they had in there, like I was having a hard time with the back end kicking up, really, you know, kicking it and flipping it back over on the front. I mean, to counteract that, I was carrying less speed into them and giving it more gas off the face to kind of keep the front end up. But I don't know if that was a way to kind of help correct that a little bit with suspension, or, you know, if it's just the way tracks are. Carpet lunch. We're not doing carpets. The place also, Benjamin, why do you got to do this? Anyway, so they don't have a carpet track in there, but they also have an oval where they race like the little sprint cars. Yeah, that'd be the sprint cars and like the late model style cars and stuff like that. It's a hard packed like dirt oval they have in there. I recorded just a couple minutes of that also up there. They had a ton of crazy cars up. I mean, they have a dragster speed strip up there where they do the drag races and a lot of stuff. So they had a lot of different kinds of cars and a lot of different tracks up there. So definitely going to be spending a little more time up there this summer and kind of checking out some of the different tracks and playing around. Never done any of the oval track racing or anything like that either. I don't even have a car that's even close to being really suitable for that again. But I also just saw a lot of people using, Typhon 6S frames and throwing on, lower suspension and, different bodies and the wings and stuff and running those up there. So it kind of seems like the Typhon 6S can kind of be a jack of a lot of different trades depending on what you want to do. So I might give that a try. But that's I'm just kind of wondering like what I want to do with the Typhon 6S. If I want to kind of turn it into something for the track I can kind of go back and forth with, or just as a basher. But I think the thing's going to be a lot of fun just from getting to race it up there at the track and hitting some of the jumps that I did at that place. What's up, Captain Flannel? How's it going, buddy? How's it going, Jessica? I love flannels. Flannels are nice. Flannels and hoodies are always great during the colder times of the year. It's been snowing on and off all day outside here. It's cold. It's like, I think 9 or 10 degrees or something outside, I heard. I haven't really looked at the weather too much, to be honest with you. Try and get this on-off switch down in here in the right spot. I'm going to need a screw for that. Turn it into a rally car. That could be a lot of fun too. What just really surprised me about this Typhon, and I mean, I kind of was hoping it's what it would be, but I mean, for the size of it and the weight and the power and just how fast the thing gets up and moving, that's what just really surprised me. I mean, you lay on that throttle on that thing, and I mean, it just goes. A lot of people up at the track up there were kind of laughing because they're like, "Are you running that thing on 6S?" I'm like, well, of course it's a 6S car, but as you'll see in the video that'll be coming out here, I decided to start running it on 4S because as I quickly learned, just because you have the power and the capabilities, it did not make it real friendly on the track. The 6S was a little bit harder to control and kind of deal with the track, so I threw a 4S pack in it. It was perfect. It still had tons of power, plenty enough to clear, the doubles and triples up there, but it was just a little more manageable. But of course, I did throw the 6S pack on it. After I killed both my 4S packs, I eventually threw the 6S in there. I mean, it was just a beast. The thing would really get up and move. Yeah, I'm really happy. I was debating on what I wanted to get next. And half the reason I got it was I like I said, I ordered the Typhon 6S back whenever COVID was just kind of started, and they kept getting pushed back, which somebody in one of the comments on my post about it I put up, it actually worked out kind of in my favor because by the time I finally got it, I got the new model, the V5, so it kind of worked out. And so far, I'm really happy with the car. Things been a lot of fun up at the track for sure. I got to get rid of this because I'm not doing two 2S packs. I always just do a 4S pack in this thing, so I got to eliminate that too at some point. Don't know if I'll worry about that tonight. I just want to kind of get the thing up and running mainly. All right, we've got the motor in, the ESC in. So now I just got to throw a couple screws in it here, and if I can grab the right wrench, the right Torx driver. But yeah, I think I think this thing, this Kraton 4S would probably be a great size and a lot of fun at the track also with this thing if I threw a different set of tires on it, because these tires, as I learned, are not very good for the track. But I think a set of actual track tires on this thing could probably be a lot of fun. I was running the Typhon 3S for a few minutes up there, but I didn't have another set of tires for it, and I didn't feel like switching tires at the time because I was just being lazy, I guess. But I was running the Typhon 3S for a few minutes with the knobby tires that are on it, and it ran pretty good, and it was a lot of fun, but I definitely liked a little more power with that Typhon 6S on it. You know, it felt a little more planted. I don't know if it was due to the weight, probably, but it just felt a little more controllable on the track, but I don't really have a lot to judge by either as far as other cars. I've learned absolutely nothing but how to do. Well, Benjamin, I don't know how many times I've told you, you know, one of these days I expect to start seeing a video from you. And don't be giving me any of this garbage of, you know, you're not a cameraman. I don't think any of us are a cameraman. Just going to get out there and give it a try. I want to see you behind this. I just want to go fast. I know. And that's why I never thought, honestly, that I would bother going to a track, was because it's like, you know, the whole structured, you know, this is where you got to go, this is what you got to do type of thing. Never really seemed like I'd enjoy that, but like I said, to be honest, it was fun. I had a good time up there. All right, I think we are ready to throw a battery in this thing. We got the ESC in it. Once I get hooked up to the transmitter, we'll reset the, calibrate it to the transmitter. I think I have this. Geez, man, it's been so long. Can't remember which cars I had hooked up to this, or which transmitter now. Granite, Typhon, Rustler, EXP, Everest. So it must be on my GT5. I guess if I had looked at it while it was in the receiver box, I would have known. I think that's it. All right. Find a battery. I haven't charged any of these. Most of these are all dead from the track. Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, the 6S, man, that thing has been a blast. Ben is salty. He's all salty, I guess. I'm not even going to continue to repeat what he's saying in here, but yeah, you know what you're saying, Ben. And he's really salty because he lives in Florida. All right, well, we got steering. And we have power. So now I'm going to go through calibrating the controller to this thing. So we're going to turn it back off. Hold down the set button. Turn this back on. All right. So now that it's in the calibration mode, it's in neutral. Hit it once. Full throttle. Hit it again. Full reverse. Hit it again. And it should be calibrated now. Looks pretty good. Battery's dead, though. I knew that was the case. I'll throw a different battery in here momentarily just to make sure everything's happy. I think I still have at least a 3S battery that's charged. I think it's the only thing I didn't kill. Yeah, everybody go hit the like button. Thanks, Gaines. Florida sucks. You know, what always cracks me up about Florida is every time you hear a bizarre, weird, crazy story that's happened, it always seems to come from Florida. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that place. It's if it's the salt, if it's just too much sun. I don't know, guys, but there's always weird stuff coming from Florida. All right. Well, we got the Kraton 4S finally back working again, which is awesome. This thing has been running great for me. But when it started up with this weird ESC stuff, it was causing a really bad stuttering problem. And it was very, you can sit and running the gas like this if you guys can even hear me over this car. But it was stuttering and kicking in and out really bad. So after process of elimination, found out that it was the ESC because I changed out everything else and it was still doing it. So the only piece of electronics that was less with ESC. So kind of answered my own question with that, I guess. But all right, well, we got the Kraton 4S back in action again, which is awesome. So I'm going to have to order a new fan, though, because I don't have the motor fan hooked up to it right now because the fan blew apart on it, on the heat sink, of course. So I'm going to have to get a new fan for it. But right now, during this time of the year, I don't have to worry about too much of the overheating issues. But I will have to get that on there before summertime and make sure that the motor stays cold. Now if I can just get this line back up again. It's the meth. There was enough of that from Florida. I think bath salts was the big thing in Florida, wasn't it? That's what everybody was running around eating each other and chewing people's faces off and stuff. Exactly, it's the salts. All the transplants in Ohio. Oh my God. You guys are too much. Yeah, every time you heard of a weird story going on and something crazy happening, it always came from Florida. And anytime there's a weird, even if it's just ridiculous, every new fad or new goofy thing that comes along always comes from California. For some reason, everybody out on this side decides to follow along with it. I don't know why that is. Yeah, Rocky, you're to blame on that one. All right, well now we can get the Outcast 6S fixed up. And this is the one that was throwing 20 volts to the receiver and servo. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I didn't burn up the new receiver. It was working last I had it hooked up. But who knows? Hopefully I didn't burn up the brand new receiver. But I do have to change out the servo and the ESC in this thing because the ESC is bad in it. And well, that's what's causing it to get 20-some volts to the other stuff. So I guess we'll swap this out next. Get this thing back in action. But Rocky, if you ever talk to your buddy again, whoever it was, I may have missed it in the comments because sometimes they start flying by and I didn't get to read stuff. What brand of fan? What I was putting on all my other cars that I really loved were they were the, I think they were the Yeah Racing tornado fans. They were all aluminum housing, blades, really nice fans. They pushed a lot of air. I put a lot of those in a lot of my ESCs on the 3S and the 4S line. I never used any of them on the 6S line yet, but I see a lot of people use them and said that they were great. I never had any of them go bad yet or die on me, so they seem like they're a pretty decent fan all in all. What's going on, AJ? Try to catch up on them. Rocky. Yes, sir. Haven't seen a channel in a while. Yeah, those Game Changer fans, I've seen a lot of people using those also now. I personally haven't used one yet. I'd like to get a hold of one maybe and give one a try. Maybe I'll get one for the Kraton 4S and throw it on the motor on that one and see how I like it. Yeah, yeah, California. Wait, what did you get designed and made in bulk? Rocky, I think I missed something what you're talking about with that. A tweaker RC. Like, so guys, this is how you do it. You gotta take this part real quick and then do this. You probably couldn't even follow along with that, I'm sure. But it could be funny. All right, well, we're gonna get the wire, get everything cut out of here and get the ESC removed out of this thing. I had the motor wires zip tied together in here so that the pinion doesn't decide to chew them up for dinner. So I had that happen already. Geez, man, it's been a while since I've had to pull the ESC out of one of the 6S cars. You talk about the Game Changer fans? I appreciate that, Jessica. I'd be definitely curious to try one out, and you'd love to throw it on there and see how they work out and use it on the channel. So I've never got to run one. I've seen a lot of people starting to use them. Said they were really great. You know, they had good luck with them. So. Now, where is my ESC line? There it is. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep this ESC around. At some point, I might do something. What's falling? Screws. Might do something else with it. Like I said, the only issue with it is it's putting 20 volts out on the ESC line. But I could put a regulator in line with it and, you know, make it put out whatever I want to, whether it's 5 or 8 volts or whatever. So I'll keep it around. I mean, I can always use it as a backup, or maybe on something else at some point I want to build or an emergency. Now that I know what's wrong with it, you know, at least it's kind of fixable. There's wood chips in here from the motocross track. Let me get them. Bro. Yeah, I was just watching your video on your dragster the other day. You're using the parking lot, man. That thing just rips. Do you have what do you have in your center diff on that thing? I was just wondering if you can keep. It seemed like the front wheels were ballooning a lot on it. Have you done anything with the center differential yet, or trying to even out the power? Yeah, Jessica, those fans look like they're really nice fans, and they look nicely well constructed too. So definitely wouldn't mind trying one out. I think we're going to throw the ESC in this thing first. Unfortunately, I got to throw this on the light words, crappy servo in this thing for the moment, but I don't have any other ones in my possession to just throw in this. So I'm going to put this in there for now just to get the Outcast running again. But I do have another one ordered for it, but it's not going to be here for a little bit because it won't be here before I leave. I'll put it that way. I got to leave on Thursday. Going to head down to one part of Florida first, and then I got to head the rest of the way down to Tampa. So I won't have the servo before that, so I kind of want to get this thing up and running and hopefully take it out beforehand and run it. But I know the servo is going to be way underpowered for it. I think I'm the only one It probably is. Oh, yeah, you do have the membership. That's why I forgot I started that recently. But yeah, it does. It shows up with the little sticker on the side and shows if you join the membership on there, which I'll have to make sure to get a hold of you and get you some stickers and stuff sent out here for that. But yeah, that's why it gets the little logo beside your name. I first wondered that honestly for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, why does your name have my little logo beside it? We have a special person in chat. I appreciate that, AJ. I do. All right. Well, let's get the new ESC in there. Be glad to get this thing. I haven't got to run this Outcast, it seems like, in forever. Every time I've taken it out, I either had, started with other cars for the day running and then didn't get to use this the rest of the day, or had battery problems and things dying on me. I haven't got to run the old Outcast here for a little while, and kind of excited to actually run this thing again. But I think the last time I took it out, well, the last time I took it out is when it went up in flames. But the time before that, I had battery problems and issues going on, so I didn't even get to run it. So hopefully now, if I take some actual charged batteries with me and it doesn't catch on fire, I should be in good shape. But with my luck with fires, that's a lot to ask for, but we're going to try. All right, we can get the ESC mounted back down here. And those are not... Why do those seem really short for the ESC? Oh, so you haven't done the front diff yet? Yeah, I just noticed them. Your dragster, man, that thing gets up and moves. I just wondered when I was looking at it, it seemed like the front tires were ballooning on it a lot. So I didn't know if you'd done anything with the differentials on it yet, or if it was just kind of uncontrollable amount of power going on. Supposedly these are the screws. I'm having a hard time believing it. They just seem rather short. But I know these are what just came out of here. So I'm going to go with it. I've never had a 6S ESC yet break or rip the screws out. So we'll stick with what was supposed to be in there. Feels nice and snug. Anybody else out there been having issues with electronics going up in smoke lately, or is it just me? It's always either been receivers or ESCs deciding to let the magic smoke out on me. Well, I guess I get the servo mounted in here first before I mount everything else. Screw everything else in here tight. Get them mounted in here with the lovely, you guys all know how I feel about the lovely foam, the goofy little foam sealing that they use for the wires. And I know, Rocky, I think you were one of the first ones to point that out about the stupid little piece of foam they use in the receiver box as their waterproofing. It really was kind of disappointed in that design. At least a little rubber piece that in there, it actually would seal off half decent. And as soon as you tried to feed the wires through it, it wouldn't just collapse and fall out of the way. It was terrible. I think, I should know this because I just got the Typhon, but I haven't looked at the receiver box. Did they get away from that piece of foam on the V5s? Did they actually put a piece of rubber in there now, or do they still have the foam? Does anybody know? Because I'm half afraid to open up my Typhon and see a piece of foam in that one, too. That foam was a piece of joke. You see no blue Loctite being applied. Being applied on what? My servo? I'm not going to put Loctite on my servo. And if you're talking about my motor that I put into Kraton 4S, no, I didn't put any on there. There was a ton of Loctite on the motor, and I didn't put any more on there because I hate fighting with pinions. And maybe I'm just special like AJ here, but I don't ever really have too many of my bolts come loose, especially on my pinion or motor gears. I do it the same way. So, you know what, Benjamin? You just go ahead and put as much blue Loctite on your screws as you want to. Because I know your screws are loose. Sorry, I had to. Now, which way was this goofy switch? This way, I guess. There's a screw hole and then the line-up hole, and neither one of them seem to be wanting to line up. What is going on here? I know this is how it goes in here. If I can get that thing to line up. What's up, Isaac? Haven't had any. What's up, Froggy? I just noticed you, buddy. How's it going? I had issues with the servo screws inside a buggy, only on the servo and the axle crawler. Yeah, I use Loctite on just certain things. I don't use it on everything because then it just turns into a fight on certain things, and then you're having to sit there and heat stuff up like crazy to try and get things back off. But like I said, I've never had any issues with my motors with doing it this way. So I'm just going to continue. There we go. Now it's finally lined up. I just had to do it 3 times the same direction and eventually decided to fall into place. You put a 26-tooth pinion. It's good, Frog. Are you going to be doing another live stream tonight, Frog? Your live streams are always a good time. I know our conversations go a little south sometimes. But if any of you guys are into gaming and builds and stuff like that, Exo Froggy in there, he's got a great channel too, guys. Does a lot of game builds on cars and things, and crawling videos. Kind of does a lot of stuff. We always have a good time in his live streams. If you want to throw your link up there too, Froggy, go ahead, buddy. You put a 26-tooth pinion on your Typhoon 3S. You ever have any issues with that thing overheating, though, AJ? That's one thing I've always had horrible luck with gearing up some of my cars with overheating issues. The only one I haven't had issues with gearing up really has been the Kraton 8S. That thing, I threw the speed gearing on it and cranked the punch the whole way up, and I've had 0 issues with that thing overheating. But I tried gearing up the Outcast, I think, last summer. I think the Kraton EXB or the Kraton 6S, I can't remember which one, but I tried putting the speed gearing on that one. Something's beeping at me. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what. Oh. Jesus, a bomb was ready to go off in here. My GT3 transmitter I left it on apparently. That's exactly why they put the beeping on it. Nice. I'll definitely come visit you tonight. Always have a good time in the chat. But you guys putting the 27-tooth on those things, you never had any issue with them overheating? Isaac, you fixed it? Isaac, guys, in here, he's the one that went with me to the track for the first time the other night. We put the Senton, the 3S Firma system in it, and we had weird things going on. And honestly, I had kind of gotten stumped, and He just ran it the way it was. But after we put the firma system in there, we could only get full speed in reverse and not forward. Now, I tried all the obvious things, rebinding the transmitter, recalibrating the ESC, of course, flipping the switch on everything. Everything that you would normally think would fix it did not fix it. So I'm curious to see from him what your RC God. Curious, what was it? It had to have been something stupid. You got to tell me. Yeah, see, that's me. The Sentin 2, they overheat. That's always had issues with them overheating, and would get short run times, and it drove me crazy. So that's why I've always just kind of stuck with stock gearing, or at least pretty close to it. Maybe jump up a tooth, but never gone too crazy with anything because I'd rather have a little less speed than overheating issues. I mean, if you're going for speed runs, obviously that's what you got to do. But as far as like a daily basher, I've always just stuck with the stock gearing because I can go out, run them hard in the summer, and not have them shutting off on me. And it feels like I got to spread these pins a little bit on the motor connectors because they're sliding on there a little too easy. So I got to widen these out a little bit just to make sure that they get good connection. This tool is one of the greatest tools for everything it's not intended for. The body reamers, man, these things are great for all kinds of stuff. Spreading these pins, reaming holes in bodies, obviously, but also great for cleaning out the screws that are when you get the bottom of the chassis packed up and you're working on screws. It's great for digging the holes out of there. I use this thing 99% of the times for things it's not intended for. The 20-tooth. Yeah, I still have my stock gearing in my Big Rock right now. I haven't done anything to that thing except shock oil. The only thing I've done differently to it, I beefed up the shock oil just a tiny bit. But besides that, that thing is still box stock. But the thing just keeps going. The Big Rock just doesn't care what you do to it or what you put it through. It just keeps on rolling. Adidas, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, the felony, I've thought so many times about maybe getting into the street bashing scene and getting something like that, like either the Limitless or Felony or something like that. A buddy of mine out in Cost on here. I don't know if he's in here or not, but he's been putting together an awesome one, and he's actually now selling on eBay the 3D printed different rear pans and rear like bulkheads and front bulkheads and all this stuff with the built-in buckets for the lights and all this stuff. Really nice stuff. But he's been putting together, and he's been really kind of making me interested in getting one and putting one together. They look like they're a lot of fun. It might fly first. A Big Rock at 100 mile an hour. Somehow I have a feeling that, you'll definitely be catching some air, I think, before it hits 100 mile an hour. It's hard to keep. You guys know, with how hard it is to keep the EXB, on the ground with that crazy, what'd you guys put in there, the Max? I forget which one it is now, but I know you basically put the system that goes in the Kraton 8S in your EXB, guys, and that thing just, you get to a certain amount of power, and it's kind of just hard to use it, I guess. All right. Well, we got the servo mounted up. I got the ESC mounted. Now I just got to get everything plugged in. So, and these Dumbo receivers are kind of weird because what normally starts as channel 1 on any other receiver is actually channel 0 or channel 6. And of course, the piece of foam is falling out. Why wouldn't it be? I can't even get it the whole way out to fix it properly. Usually what I always do with these pieces of foam is spray them with WD-40 really lightly on the top so that your wires can slide down through that little slot a little easier without hopefully ripping the foam or bunching it up. Yeah, the Big Rock at 68 mile an hour, I'm sure that thing does start to get pretty squirrely. Is it still a stock height and everything? Because I imagine with the height of that thing, doing almost 70 mile an hour, it's probably got to be a little hard to control or keep straight. Maybe not keep straight, but as soon as you try steering it, things probably got to be getting kind of squirrely for sure. It actually shouldn't be too hard. All right, well, what do we got here? We got the servo wire first. I'm hoping it doesn't rain, or not rain, but snow anymore here, because I'd like to take this Outcast out before I leave and run this thing now. Kind of excited to give it a try out and see how she runs now with the new electronics. Like I said, this thing hasn't really got to be run very much at all lately, with all the constant weird issues I've had with it. And the piece of foam's falling out. I cannot stand this piece of foam, guys. This just drives me crazy. This right here. Anybody that doesn't know, this is an absolute joke. This is what they use to seal off the receiver box. It's a cruel joke, is all it is. It doesn't work, it falls out, and it doesn't even really seal. So, trying to use it is even more frustrating because you fight with this thing to try to get it in there, knowing that it's really not going to help that much. But I'm going to try to get in there anyway. Just trying to get these servo wires to lay down where they're supposed to. Yeah, the Typhon definitely, that's one thing I noticed with that, just briefly running my Typhon 6S on the road. I mean, that thing just, it does handle really nicely. And I see why everybody uses them for speed cars and why everybody's, dropping them down a little bit, putting the hoons on them. Because, I mean, they do. They steer on a dime and handle really good. And you got that lower center of gravity with it. So it definitely makes sense why I see everybody turning their Typhon 6S's into speed run cars. All right, we're going to try this again. Foam is in there. All right. All right. Now we got that in there. Get the wires laid out here in the battery box. The other thing I like about the V5s with the newer battery boxes, you got a little more space to actually work inside them. You change out the receiver, and if it's a little bigger or whatever, to be able to curl up your excess wire and all that stuff, you actually got a little bit of room. All right, get the first one plugged in here. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed here, that this receiver actually works when I turn it on. Because like I said, this receiver was hooked up to the ESC whenever it was throwing out 20 volts. So hopefully it didn't smoke this thing. We'll find out here momentarily. Hopefully more smoke doesn't fly. If I can get these wires tucked into this tiny little box. Box is a little too tight. All right. I think we're ready to give this a try. Let's see. I don't have any of my 6S batteries. They might be charged up enough to at least try this. Throw one of these in here. I gotta charge up some batteries. I haven't charged them since. What's up, Leroy? Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate that. I don't know what time it is here for me right now. It is 6:30 my time. We're on the East Coast. And you guys that don't know, I'm in Pennsylvania. All right, so here's a new transmitter. I think we will, well, I got to steal batteries out of something because I apparently don't have batteries in this. I was having so many batteries die on me so fast. I was going through transmitter batteries like crazy over the last few weeks. 5 hours ahead of me. Thanks, Froggy. I appreciate that, buddy. How do you feel about running the mega class cars in wet conditions? As far as the mega class cars, you mean like all the brush setups? You know, I mean, in the wet conditions, it doesn't have a problem. It's just as long as you make sure that, you know, all your stuff's sealed off differently. I mean, I run all my cars. I mean, the Typhon 3S, Granite, the Big Rock, everything I've had in the snow and in the water. You know, for multiple years, and I've never had, honestly, any issues. Up until this year, for some reason, everything decided to start taking a dump on me at the same time, and I don't know why, but and some of this stuff, I don't even know if it's even, you know, corresponding with running them in the snow or cold. It might be just the electronics finally giving up. But I've honestly never really had too many issues. I mean, if you're going to run them in the wet conditions or get the tires wet, especially the first thing you want to do is seal off the holes inside your rims on the tires so that your foams don't get filled up with water, because not only will your tires be off balance like crazy, but it will destroy your foams in the tires a lot quicker. So definitely seal off the holes in the tires. But I mean, as long as you're careful and don't try to submerge it. I mean, I know a lot of us do it, but if you don't submerge them too much, and just, you know, if it's just wet and you run them in the rain or the snow, I mean, I do it all the time and don't have a ton of issues. But you know, it's your car, it's your money, so you do what you want with it. Just like I get comments sometimes, people telling me that I'm crazy for running my cars in the winter or crazy for taking them in the mud and the track that I do. And it's like, same comment goes where it's like, it's my car, my money, kind of do what I want with them. I'm learning a little bit more and more, though, as time goes on, with certain things that you just don't want to do. And what you need to do if you're going to take them out. Like I said, sealing off the tires and trying to keep them off. And before I take them out in the water and run them in the snow or the water, I always make sure I end up trying to spray everything down with WD-40. That's what I use on like the drive shafts, your pillow ball cups, you know, axles and stuff like that. Spray around your motor connections and your pinions and hit that stuff with WD-40 ahead of time, because it, like I said, WD-40 is a water repellent. It pushes water away and it kind of helps keep certain things dry. So not as great of a lubricant on certain things as maybe other things are, but as far as a water repellent, it helps. So definitely another idea to do is hit everything with WD-40 before you take it out. But enough yakking here. Get this thing turned on. Pretty little blue light lights up. Let's see what this thing does. Hopefully we don't see smoke. We got a green light on the receiver. Steering is backwards right now. Yeah. I have a feeling I got to recalibrate this thing. As you can see, this thing's taking off on its own. I don't know what I have the control set out here either, because when I was messing around with this thing, I was trying a lot of different things, trying to figure out what was wrong. And I think I have one of these settings things set wrong. Yeah, that's set to reverse. All those are normal. Not sure why it was trying to take off on its own so much. But I think we're going to recalibrate the transmitter in this thing real quick before I get too far, so that this thing gets set properly. I'm about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh. That's where I'm at here in Pennsylvania. All right, so we got her in the calibration mode. Got her in neutral position is where it comes up, and we just went through this with the Kraton. Switch it one more time. Full throttle. Hit the button again. Full reverse. Hit the button again. Gave it green beep, so it looks like it is calibrated. See these tires right here? You want to see what off-balance tires look like? That shakes so much because the foams in these are destroyed. I gotta get new tires for this thing. These are those copperhead tires that came on like the Kraton EXV and the Kraton 6S V4 I got back there. And I will never buy another set of copperhead tires again. The D-Boots backflips are far, far better tires. They hold up longer. The foams are better in them. These copperhead tires, man, the foams in them just do not hold up at all. And this is the third set of these because the set that came on the EXV and the Kraton V4 both went, completely just became unbalanced like this, like crazy. And I bought another set of them, or maybe they sent me another set. I think they sent me another free set. And I ran them briefly on the Kraton EXP anyway. I eventually threw the D-Boots backflips on the Kraton. I put these from the Kraton on the Outcast. And I ran this like 2 or 3 times, and that's what I got already. Because they're so unbalanced. They're terrible. But she looks like she's working. Except my steering is still reversed. Did I flip that wrong? There we go. Servo is not very fast, as you can see. But it does work at least. And I know these servos, these stock servos, the ones that Arma sent me here are not very good. They don't last very long. These red ones, I thought they were going to send me one of the new ones that they were started putting in all the new models, but they sent me one of these red ones. But it'll do for now. At least get the car up and running, which is what I'm going for right now. But at least nothing caught on fire. No smoke came out of anything, so I'm steps ahead of where I was last week. The Outcast is back running again, which is awesome. I'm excited to take this thing back out again and give it a run. If we get a nice day, like I said before I leave, I'm definitely going to take it out here and take it for a run and see how she runs and how it handles. I'm more curious just to actually test out this new transmitter and see what kind of reaction in distance I get out of it. Because everybody says with these Dumbo receivers, I know this says Surpass, but it's a Dumbo, I promise you. But everybody says that these things got great range and great response time with your throttle and trigger, your throttle and steering. So I'm kind of curious to test those out. I had the Fly Sky GT5 hooked up to everything, but then I started having those receivers burning up on me left and right, and just started having all kinds of stuff going on. So I think I'm going to start going back to just a transmitter for every car, because I learned this one other big flaw, and I think I already talked about this, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but big flaw with having one transmitter for all your cars is your transmitter goes bad, you now have no transmitter for any car. So I think I'm going back to just having a transmitter for each car. And if I like this Dumbo one, or Surpass, or whatever you want to call it, I might just start ordering these in for, put them on all of them and seeing how I like these. Yeah, hey, what's up, Shade Tree? Yes, copperheads do suck. I thought about trying to dip bodies too, Jessica. I haven't tried it yet, but I was watching some, I don't remember who I was watching. It was a video I just saw not long ago on here on YouTube that guys were dipping the bodies, and they came out really cool looking. But, yeah, Froggy, that's all I hear. I haven't heard one bad story from anybody that uses these Dumbo transmitters, from anybody. Everybody seems to love them. So I decided to jump on the bandwagon and give them a try. They got a great feel to them. Like, they got a nice feel. Like, they do not feel cheap at all. Like, the trigger feels nice and smooth. I like how they got kind of like this softer textured grip, in the front and rear. And they're not heavy. They're a nice light controller. Because that's one thing about the Fly Sky GT3 transmitter. That thing is a tank. You carry that thing around for a day, you could definitely feel it. Do I have any 3S ones? No, I don't have any extra 3S ESCs, if that's what you're asking. the moment, everything I have, I don't have anything next year because everything's been burning up on me lately. Just trying to catch up on some of the chat here, see if I can see what's going on. Yeah, the unfortunate part, I don't know if you guys seen that my poor Mini B here, or Mini T, sorry, just painted this body up, was all happy with it, loved the way it looked, the simple white. I took it out the other day. I don't know if Isaac's still in. Yes, he is still in here. No, don't buy a Fly Sky Noble. You see what happened with this thing. I rode it outside for 5 minutes, rolled this poor thing, and the body just shattered on the whole back of it. So now I'm back to a busted, low-C body. This thing does not last. Does anybody know, do they make an indestructible body for the low-C Mini T 2.0 yet? Because if they make one, I think I'm going to buy one. Because I think that's what I'm going to. My plan was to start just kind of buying clear bodies and painting them. I was just going to start painting most of them white or whatever color. And but the more that I think about it, I think I want to start going with the indestructible bodies on everything, because I have been going through entirely too many bodies lately. Just, and the winter doesn't help, obviously. I know it's even harder on them. But even during the summertime, I mean, I just destroy bodies. So unfortunately, whenever you start crashing them, skate parks are extremely rough on them, as many of you know. But even down at the motocross track, whenever they're 20, 30 feet up in the air and come down on their dome, it doesn't hold up too well. But the skate park, honestly, I think is the worst place for bodies, as far as just them getting destroyed. I've just always killed them down there. But the skate parks are just too much fun. I just found, actually, I didn't just find, actually, I think Isaac in here just recently, I think you're the one that mentioned this to me, but I looked online and there is another skate park and pretty close to me in a local town near me. And I looked up some pictures of it, and the skate park looks awesome. It's actually one of those dished-in style bowl skate parks, and there's like 2 different sections to it. It's huge. It looks like a really nice big skate park. So as soon as there's a nice day, definitely going to head down there, because the skate park looks like a blast. The other one I go to, locally here, it's fun, but it's pretty small, and all of it's mainly wood ramps. None of it's concrete and actual bowl style. So this one looks pretty awesome. So it should be a lot of fun down there, I think. And if you're nice, Isaac, I'll take you with me. But only if you're nice. And if you bring me a Dunkin' Donuts coffee this time. Because, I asked you for one, and you're like, I'm not bringing you coffee. Can't wait to see the response on this. All right, guys. So, the Outcast is back together, too. So, we got the new ESC in this thing and the servos. The Outcast is back alive again in action. We got the Kraton 4S back running again. So I don't think, actually, at the moment, there's anything else broken. The Kraton 8S is back up and running. I got the shock fixed on that. All my Kraton 6S is up there. The XP and the V4 are all running. The Typhon 3S is good. Big Rock and the Granite always run, because you just can't seem to break those cars. And I think that's actually it. But did anybody comment on the Mini T body? Because I'm curious about the Mini T bodies, if anybody's heard if there's an indestructible body for those. Yes, Captain Flannel, and the bodies are indestructible. It's insane. The price of the bodies, especially lately, I think a lot of places have also been taking advantage of the whole COVID stuff. Starting to jack up the prices on things. Bodies that I could get before, for $25, $20 even for some of the cheaper ones, are now $35, $40. And to get an actual, Arma one or something, they're charging, $50, $60 for them. And up. It's crazy. I don't don't remember that part where you ever asking me I wanted the coffee, man. I don't. I just seem to forgot that part, I think. Which Dumbo transmitter? Well, like I said, if they don't have the Dumbo RC, I think there's a 3-channel one. I was trying to remember because I was looking at the Dumbos. There's 2 different ones on there, but they're usually right around $30, and they look just like this, except they don't have all the little red trim and things on them. But or get this one. I saw this one on Amazon also. They're called Surpass, the Channel 6. This is what the box looks like. This is what you're looking for. But it's just called by Surpass Hobby. It's a 2.4 gig super response. I think this was $31 or $32 on Amazon. Pick up one of those. You'll like it a lot better. I mean, the SLT3 transmitters that come with the new RTRs aren't bad. Honestly, I don't really have many complaints on these transmitters yet. I have one for the new Typhon 6S and the one on the Big Rock. And honestly, I don't hate them. The STX2s were total garbage. I mean, those transmitters were pretty bad. But these new ones, the SLT3s, are nice transmitters. I don't have any issues or complaints with those. That's why I haven't really even bothered changing them out. But the only thing I think I'm going to continue to get more of the Surpass or the Dumbos for are to change out the rest of the cars that I have on this STX, this FlySky, the GT3B transmitter. I had gotten rid of this transmitter off of all my cars last summer because I was having issues with response and it acting weird and distance issues. But then I had to go back to it when all my receivers started burning up on the FlySky GT5 stuff. So I kind of had to go backwards and start using it again, which it worked good for backup to at least get everything up and running. But you be excited. You guys will be seeing the video for this coming up here. I'll be posting it up tomorrow. But the first run here with the Typhon 6S had done at the track and had just a blast with this thing. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I definitely looking forward to going back there and taking this thing for another run. I definitely want to do something with the suspension on it, though. I do want to stiffen it up slightly. I don't know. It's the thing. I got to try and figure out and learn a little bit more about what kind of suspension tuning you want to do for a track. But I might even just buy another set of shocks. You know, one's kind of more set up for a track and one set up for bashing because I'm going to be using it for both. So unless I just go and find, you know, actual race buggy, which is what I am kind of looking around for right now. But I'm trying to get some suggestions from people on what would be kind of a good buggy to start out with. I don't know if anybody out there races them or not, but if you do and you have any good suggestions on a good starter buggy, something, you know, that's, you know, maybe between the $400 and $600 range, you know, something to be a good, you know, pretty much ready to run at that point. Like, I don't want a roller for $600 and have to put another $300 in electronics in it, but something that's kind of ready to roll for around that price. You know, drop some comments in there. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Yes, Chris, and also on those Dumbos, you can go back to the Dumbo things. On these transmitters, another great thing about these, if you want to do it, is you can bind multiple receivers to them. And that way, the only thing that's different, like versus the FlySky GT5, you can bind, I think, up to 10 different receivers on it. You can bind, I don't know how many receivers. I don't know if you guys know in the comments here how many you can actually bind to one of these. But you can bind multiple receivers. But the only issue is you can't save your steering trims and your throttle endpoints and your steering endpoints and stuff to it. Basically, every car, whichever car you're using on, you have to reset your trim levels. Where on the GT5 and a lot of the little more expensive controllers, it'll save all that stuff for you. Whenever you bring up whichever car you're going to use, you know, it automatically save all your endpoints and all that. So, you know, you get a few more nicer features with this, but you're also paying a lot more. The receivers are, I think, more than twice the amount than they are for the Dumbo ones. So you pay a little bit more, but you do get the saving features. But honestly, for the amount of seconds it takes to tweak in your controls, is it worth it? You know, I guess that's up to you. know if there's any other car that can handle. Dude, the Typhon 6S as far as jumping, you know, anybody that's watched any of my Typhon video with the 3S before, I mean, it is the most controllable, predictable car in the air as far as it always just flies so nice and flat and corrects itself very easily. If you do get out of whack, you know, it corrects itself very quickly and really nicely and easily. I mean, the Typhon 3S is an awesome car. I've had a ton of fun with that thing. And that's what brought me to buy this thing, was because of how much fun and how much I love the Typhon 3S. I had to try the 6S out. I figured, you know, if it's the same car but just faster, it's got to be a good time. But I do still have the stock tires for this thing also. You can see the difference in treads on these things. I'm sure any of you guys have seen these. But, you know, I didn't understand quite the difference of why everybody ran these tires. Like, maybe it had something to do with traction. But until I got this thing on the track and was running it, that I realized how terrible these tires are on a track. I mean, there is zero traction. Sliding around, you know, when you come around some of those tight turns and trying to get on the gas really quickly, the traction just wasn't there. But throw some tires on it, the thing was a whole different animal out there. A lot of fun. So the two flame. Oh yeah, Jessica. I mean, the Big Rock. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me recently. Actually, I'm going to zip tie this power plug up in here. I had a lot of people asking me recently, you know, as far as they're getting their first car, you know, what would you get? You know, if you were going to rebuy anything from the 3S line, you know, what would it be? And as far as like just overall bashing, you know, just wanting to go out and run in your yard, run in the dirt, take it to a skate park. I mean, the Big Rock would probably be my first choice. After that, as far as being able to jump it and stuff, the Typhon would probably be next. The Granite is right there with all of them. It just depends on if you like the long or the short wheelbase better. I've kind of come to like the longer wheelbase cars better, and that's why, as you can see, the Typhons, the Kratons. The Outcast is a blast. I have a lot of fun with this car. I love this thing. It is a good time. But as far as being able to launch it on some of the stuff that I like doing down at the motocross track and stuff, I just kind of like the longer wheelbase a little better. It's a little more controllable for me. Some people might like the feel of the shorter wheelbase better. I've just come to like the long wheelbase. And the Granite's a short wheelbase, so it'll tend to flip and rotate a little faster. So it depends on how, I guess, how quickly you want that thing to rotate and be controllable, you know, depending on which one you like. Like I said, I've just come to like the longer wheelbase a little bit better. After, that's a good question, Chris. After owning the EXB, would I buy it again? I think we talked about this either on a video or on a live stream before. After having both of them, you know, this is the V4. There's obviously a new V5 on here now, but this is the V4 Kraton and the EXB. If I was going to do it over again, I would absolutely not buy the EXB again. I would just buy, if I was doing this over again, I would just buy the V5 Kraton, run it, and as things break, upgrade them from there with the aluminum stuff. You know, with the aluminum center braces and that stuff. You know, as the things start to break and go wrong, then upgrade it to the upgraded versions. But to go and spend the same thing on the car again and then having to put the electronics and everything else in it, it's, I don't know, personally, it wasn't worth it. I've had far more fun with my V4 Kraton than I have with my EXB. A lot of it is due to the EXB having all the issues with the first generation limited slip differentials in the back. The first run of those things were just total trash. I mean, everybody, I don't think I have talked to a single person that bought the first run of the EXBs that did not have their differentials blow apart in them. Every one of them did it, I think. But I got the new V2 version, the upgraded version, limited slip differential on the back of that thing now. And so far, fingers crossed, it's been holding up really good. And the car has been doing really well. But after having both of them, I would not bother going straight to that. And, you know, out of the box, the V4 Kraton is a great car. Still, I mean, extremely tough. I mean, the stuff that I put this thing through, Like I said, I've had this thing far more runtime and hours and battery packs through this thing than my XB has ever seen. The only thing that I do suggest doing to any one of the 6S models, especially on the Kratons, I'm probably going to do them on the Typhon at some point too, but putting the aluminum differential case in the back on these things, to hold your differential. It makes all the difference in helping to keep that differential in there straight, so that you're not getting that twist of the plastic ones. Twist a little bit and flex, and that's where you start stripping teeth and breaking gears a little more often. If you put that hot racing on whichever brand, it doesn't have to be hot racing, but the aluminum differential case, shim that thing properly, it's going to hold up far better for you. You're going to have way more fun with that car. It's one thing I wish that they would have done with the EXP. If they were going to put these aluminum parts on the cars and upgrade it, make them more bulletproof, the first thing they should have done was put aluminum differential cases on those things. I mean, the other aluminum parts that they put in these things, with the braces and the heavier shock towers was great, but the differential cases is the heart of your driveline. And why they didn't make those things aluminum and bulletproof those things is beyond me, because they probably would have had far less issues with their cars if they'd just done that at the start. But it's definitely the first thing I would suggest upgrading on the V5 Kraton, if you were to buy one of those, is put the aluminum differential case on the back especially, and shim it, and you'll be pretty good to go. Sorry, I know that was probably long-winded speech there. Yeah, I saw those. If you're going to... M2C is getting stuff corrected for EXP. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, there's a lot of parts out there for the XP, but then it's like, and maybe this is what I missed some of the comments here, Shade Tree, but yes, it kind of defeats the purpose. It's like, if you buy the XB and then you still got to go buy all these upgraded parts for it, then what's the purpose in buying a roller? It's like, if you're going to go buy it, then you got to go buy a different chassis, and you got to buy this and you got to buy that. It's like, well, you might as well have just bought the V5 Kraton and upgrade the stuff as it broke. That's my opinion on it. That's my feelings on it. And everybody can have their own, obviously. But no, I would not buy the EXB over again. I would buy the V5 and upgrade and repair things as it broke. Definitely what I would do. But I know some people have had different luck. Everybody uses their cars differently, but I would have rather just taken, the money that I spent on a roller and electronics, just bought one of those and been able to upgrade, the V5 as it broke, and done something else with the money. Maybe put different electronics in my V5 or something. Do you know if the V5 has the V4 diffs? I don't know. I don't know if anybody else in here has the answer to that. I know that they were changing around their diffs, and with all the V5s, they also send you, I don't know if I have them here, a little packet of shims they send you with the car, which is nice, so that you can shim your differentials if they need to be tightened up. But I'm assuming they're probably the same differentials, but also the V5 Kratons and the V4 Kratons all had the open diffs. They didn't have the limited slips. The EXB is where they started trying to use the limited slip differentials, and that's where the problem came in, because they had a lot of problems with the first run of the limited slip differentials, and all of them were breaking. So they're kind of talking two different kind of differentials also, because that was kind of my thing at some point, that if I continue to have problems with my limited slip in the EXB, then I'm going to go with the open diff style from the V4 or V5 Kraton. I'm going to just put in there and call it a day and stop having issues with the limited slip. Because that's where the problems came in, was a limited slip. They were having a lot of issues with. And I heard a million different stories on what it was. There was, thoughts that the differential case wasn't made properly, that it was dished in the bottom and causing the limited slip plates to kind of concave inwards. And that's why you were getting, the gears were lifting off and causing it to start to strip. There was a lot of different ideas. I don't even know what the final result was or what the final answer was on what caused all these differentials to have the same problem. But at least the second one, the new version that they sent me, like I said, I haven't had any problems with it. So it's been holding up pretty decent, put it through a pretty good beating. That video will be coming out here shortly too. I had the EXB down at the motocross track when we had a nice day, and gave it a pretty good run down there, and been holding up good so far. All right, well, I got my other clip mounted up there so it's not rolling around. But check and make sure everything else is tight on this thing. Mojave seam stuff though. Yeah, I see a lot of people having pretty good luck with the Mojaves. I like the Mojaves. I like short course trucks. What I don't like about short course trucks is the parachuting you get. Whenever you try really setting them with any amount of air, they parachute in the air and they float, and then they start coasting off course, and you can't keep them controlled as easily because once that air catches under the body, the thing just kind of starts floating around in the air. And that's what kind of turned me off kind of towards the short course trucks, was just the parachuting effect. But I mean, if you're not trying to launch them, 50, 60, 80 feet, you also won't be having that issue. So it depends on what you're doing with your car. I'm just speaking upon what I do with them and what I enjoy doing. So don't take what I have to say as gospel by any means. I'm just speaking upon what I have found out and what I've had issues with, I guess. All right, everything seems pretty tight. This Outcast has seen quite a bit of use. As you can see by the bottom of it, there's not much of the blue film left on the bottom of it. And this thing's got a nasty gouge in the bottom. I don't know what I hit or where, but there is a decent size, probably, I don't know, a couple millimeter gash in the bottom of this chassis right here. Hit something pretty sharp apparently, because it took out a nice, probably 3-inch long gash out of the bottom of this chassis. But anyway, we got the Outcast fixed up. Need to get different tires for it, but she is running again. I was really happy. Guys, this is part of what, I know I'm sitting here one thing yelling about what Arma does, and at the same time, there's far more things that they do that I'm really happy with. After having, a lot of different cars and different brands, the fact that I called up Horizon the other day and there was no real questions asked. I explained to him, I gave him a quick detailed rundown of what I did to the car, diagnosed the problem, and how I knew it was kind of the ESC problem. And, after a few short minutes of explaining to him what was going on, it wasn't this big runaround. It wasn't like, well, we'll cover half of it or whatever. And even though the car was over a year old, I guess there's about a 2-year warranty on all the electronics. But, there wasn't a bunch of questions. It was just like, okay, we'll ship it out to you. They'll be next day air. And I had them in 3 days. It wasn't next day or 2 day or whatever it was. But, I had both the ESCs and the new servo showed at my door. It's one of the things I really love about Horizon and Arma is they do stand behind their product. And whenever things start going wrong and stuff going on, they actually do listen to their to the people out there that are using these things and what issues they're having, and they try to correct them and make improvements and go along with stuff. So, I mean, as you see, it's one of the reasons I got a lot of Armor stuff on my shelves, because I've had good luck with them, and they've been good to me when I do have issues. And that's the big thing, because, I mean, every car is going to have car problems. Every car is going to break. But the important part is what happens and how they deal with you once it does break. And so far, that's one complaint I haven't had, is that, Horizon and Arma has taken great care of me and, getting the stuff changed out and fixing their products. So that's, a big reason why I continue to like using their stuff. Yeah, Jessica, that's exactly. I mean, Arma's awesome. They stand behind their products. And, with the guys in the Arma forums and stuff like that, and even some of the Facebook pages, that they're on, they actually do get on there and they read the comments and, listen to what people's inputs and issues they're having, and they try to start making changes in their new versions of cars and change around things that they know that they're having common issues with. The EXB, unfortunately, the first version of it at least was, left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths for the EXBs, and because of the differential, because everybody bought these cars, put all these money into them, $1,000, $1,200 into these cars between the car and electronics, ran them for a day, maybe 2 days, maybe a week, and then all the differentials exploded. And then you had this $1,200 car sitting on your shelf for months waiting for a differential, which I was in that same boat, except I kind of went a different route. A lot of people told me that I was a little crazy for doing it, or stupid, whatever you want to call it. But I went with, put a locking spool in the back of mine. And I don't know if Rocky's even still in here, but he was the one that honestly showed me a guy found on eBay that was selling these locking spools. And I threw the locker in the back of mine and ran it all summer long with this locker in there. I had no problems with it. I mean, it handled a lot different, didn't handle as nicely. Obviously, wanted to spin out a lot in corners. But after getting used to it, it worked out great. And at least I got to run the EXB all summer until the new limited slip differential showed up. And then after that, I threw that in there. And so far, I've been having good luck with it. Yeah, the original Jason Dearden, I think is his name. He's always on the Arma RC Army Facebook page. He's on there a lot. He'll chime in when people start talking about weird problems that somebody's having or an issue. He gets on occasionally and reads the stuff and chimes in. And, he's taking that information back to them and I think trying to make improvements and changing stuff around, which is great that they actually listen to the people out there, doing this stuff and having issues. Obviously they can't fix bad driving and things like that when people are, I see lots of posts on there all the time. People crash the cars, the first day out into a pole and they're like, oh, Arma tough. It's like, dude, you just crashed into a telephone pole. Like, what do you expect is going to happen here? Like, you can't wrap your car around a pole and then yell at the manufacturer. That's just stupidity. But, you have that. But, the weird problems, you start having like the differentials and, steering servos. That was the thing that they changed in all the new V5 lineup, the RTRs and stuff, was that they finally went to a different servo. They went to that new Spectrum servo with the metal gears. And, so far I have that in the Typhon 6S and the Big Rock. And it's been the first servos I haven't had to change out, in the first week or two of having the car because they've been still holding up. So definitely an improvement over those red servos that they were using in the old RTR models. But it's nice that they do listen and they do make changes. So can't complain too much. Sorry, just looking at the chat again here a little bit. Should I get the 4S Kraton or a 4S Outcast? Well, there's neither one of them are available right now until I think it's sometime. Is it this summer or this spring of 2021? They're supposed to be releasing a new version. From what I understood, the new version of the Kraton 4S and the Outcast. I don't know the exact release date on that, and I'm really curious to see what they're like because I've had the Kraton 4S. Car's a blast. It's got a ton of power for the weight of it, but there's a lot of issues with the differential on that thing with stripping the gears. But then I put the aluminum differential yokes on it, and I've never had another issue with it. So that was just kind of a weak spot. But if they do come out with another 4S line on the Kraton and the Outcast, if it does come out, definitely be excited to see that because it'd probably be a lot of fun, especially if they improved it. Oh, new in spring. Okay, so pretty shortly, well, a few months away still. Yes, RC Daniel, they are. It is hard to come by cars anymore. You go to a lot of shops and there's not many things left, especially in the 6S and 8S line. You can still find some 3S stuff occasionally and the Mega line, but as far as 6S and 8S cars right now, there's just everybody has been getting sold out pretty much. I know my local hobby shop. They've been trying to get as much stuff as they can. They've been ordering. Some stuff got back ordered, just like my Typhon 3S. It was ordered before COVID started, right around there, and it just finally showed up. But keeping stock on stuff right now has definitely been hard. Yeah, I do my gear mesh by feel. I've just kind of gotten used to just that light little bit of click, you can feel in there that just feels just right. And then you set it. And as long as you've got a nice free, spin the whole way through where it doesn't get tight or bind up at any point during, you go through the whole spur gear, you're pretty set. I've never had any issues really stripping any of mine or having any problems. So whatever my feeling method is of it has been working out pretty decent. I know a lot of people use the paper method, and it does work. I've tried it. Honestly, I had an easier time just setting it by feel than I do trying to jam paper through there. But it's a good idea if you're starting out to get that feel. If you stick the piece of paper through there, set the mesh, and kind of get that, feel what it feels like as far as that amount of gap. Just go with that every time from there on out, and you're pretty much set. Hobbytown, Florida has a Kraton success. Yeah, there's been a few places. I was just up at this other hobby shop the other night when we were at the track, the indoor track, and they had a lot of crazy stuff up there. They had some used stuff. They had a lot of new stuff, but I mean, they had gigantic dragsters and stuff that I've never even really seen before at some hobby shop. I recorded a few clips of it. You guys will get to see in the video coming up tomorrow. But they had a lot of crazy cars. They had a lot of crawler stuff in there. They had some gigantic, they weren't the Raminator, but they were some other trucks, very close in size, and a lot of crawlers and other stuff. But they had a lot of different stuff in there. A lot of cool stuff. The Techno diffs. Yeah, they are. They do have some nice stuff. Yeah, it's a matter of feel. I've always just played with the diffs, and when I first started messing around with them and trying to set the mesh, do the paper thing, and once you kind of get the feel of what you're supposed to have throughout your whole rotation, because some gears, if there's a little bit off, there's a little bit of play, you'll notice there's tighter spots in it where there's a little less play. So you got to kind of just go through the whole thing and make sure you got kind of get a medium point set throughout the whole thing, so you don't have it real tight, because some guys have set them and then you start turning your spur gear and now it's super tight and you can't even get the thing to turn the whole way. ZD Racing has a 10th scale dune buggy out now. I don't know if I've seen that thing. I'll have to take a look at it. See if I can find. Still thinking about what I'm going to add to the channel next after the Typhon here at some point. I want to try the X-Max. I know I've talked about this also, but I want to try an X-Max. I've never had one yet. So either going to be an X-Max or maybe trying out some sort of monster truck. Maybe like that Losi, the new Losi monster truck, something like that. Just kind of have some fun with it because they look like they're a good time. I see a number of guys out there using those things, and they look pretty fun. Never got into the monster truck thing real big, but I think it could be a lot of good time. I aim for 90%. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you are looking for about 90% of your tooth coverage. And as long as there's no super loose points, I mean, you'd have to have something pretty bent to have a really bad loose spot at that point in your mesh. Yeah, I know, Froggy. I really like that thing. The thing looks like a lot of fun, and there's a lot of upgrades and stuff out there. I've seen people do those things already, and they look like they're a pretty good time. So I'm definitely considering maybe one of those Losi monster trucks just to do something, but I have a feeling that the X-Max might be the next one, just because I think it might be a good time also out on the track at the BMX parks, and I see people beat the snot out of them. I'm just curious to see what they'd be like in my hands, and hopefully they hold up as well as they appear. Yeah, the Losi LMT, that's it. I couldn't remember the name of that thing. I haven't found any of the hobby shops. My local hobby shop, the Playthings, etc. here is where I usually go to buy my stuff. And I think you guys, if any of you guys watched the last video I posted up with the Typhon, you saw the place. It is a cool looking building. I mean, the whole place is made out of stainless steel and shaped like a stealth bomber. But they haven't had any of them in down there yet. And even the other hobby shop that I went to the other night for the racetrack, they didn't have any of them up there, but they had some other stuff. But they were gas powered. They weren't electric. And I don't know how much I want to deal with the gas. I mean, I think if I was going to get something gas powered, the only thing it might be would be a Raminator, just because of the size, and it'd be kind of fun to have an actual gas powered truck that size. The clone is an Jora. Yeah, Jessica, I think I'd have a lot of fun with the X-Max. You know, the type of driving I like doing the majority of the times in skate parks and stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think I would enjoy it. The only thing that has drove me crazy about, I see with the X-Max and with every Traxxas car I've had, are them bodies. The body's constantly flying off after every hard landing. The body goes blowing off one direction, the car goes the other way. It's like, I don't know if some people, I know that some of the guys were trying some different things to keep those bodies on, but the body's flying off every time is one thing that got really annoying with my Rustler. Every time I try and land that thing hard, body would go flying off the thing. Just throw some clips on the thing. What was wrong with 4 clips? It was easy enough. I know they're trying to make the stuff, you know, simple and easy where it's just one quick little click, but when it doesn't work or stay on there, then it's time to redesign or do something else with it. The clone. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what this other one is, if you do find a link. X-Max roller. I don't know, man. Every time I hear the word roller, I cringe a tiny bit. No, I know there's other things. I just, like I said, in you know, the rollers sometimes, you know, they come decent. It's just, that was just a string of bad luck, you know, with the XB and as far as the issues with that thing. But I think we're pretty much all finished up here. I don't think there's anything else I was trying to get done. We got all the new parts and everything. We got the Outcast running, the Kraton 4S running. I think that's actually about it. I know, Frog, you were looking for a link here to try to pass out. Yeah, I know, RC Daniel. That's the thing that drives me crazy with the Traxxas cars are those bodies. I wish they would do something else with the bodies. I mean, I guess you could come up with something else or mount some other body post in there to do just, you know, even one clip so that that front isn't able to pull the whole way out to unlodge itself, because that little lock that they got in the front that comes into underneath the front, you know, bulkhead, as you guys know, it always, as soon as that body flexes enough, body shoots off, and now you're having to go retrieve your body and put the body back on after every single jump. It gets really annoying. So ignore it. CX10 to like our C guy garage. He have, yeah. Yeah, I seen his stuff too on that thing. I don't know. I think it will be an X-Max X. Of course, I could end up going down, and if maybe one of those Locy's show up or come in stock at a local hobby shop, could decide to pick one of those up too. But that won't be till I get back from Super Bowl. So I'll be down there for a while, and actually got to do the work thing here. Things are been slowly picking up since COVID, and things are finally, sporting events are happening again. So that's a good thing. I don't know if my coworker is in here. I haven't seen him chat. He comes in here sometimes and visits. Have a good night, Dan. I appreciate you stopping by, buddy. What's up, Chops? How's it going, buddy? Did you get out today and have some fun? I know you were going to go out with the crawlers. I think I saw you today. Take it easy, Jessica. Appreciate you stopping by. Take it easy, Gaines. I know it's probably late for some of you guys. Any of you guys over to UK right now? It's getting late. I think every time I try to do a live stream, it's hard because, like, during the daytime, if I do it during the early day, people are at work. But then people in the UK are awake. And there's always vice versa. There's always that fine line of trying to find a good time to come up. Nice. Did you have a good day out there then, Chops? What's up, bro, Ultimate? Just gone midnight. Yeah, I think we're like 20 after 7 here. Been up for just about 2 hours now. Wow. You just sent your Everest 10 out to a friend in Florida. Nice. I had a lot of fun with my Everest. This thing, which I have another servo coming in for this thing because I had to steal a servo on this thing. But this thing has been a lot of fun. With the upgrades I did to it, it has been a blast. I put different shocks on it. These were a pair of shocks I got a long time ago. I don't even know what they were for, but they worked that good. They fit good on the Everest here, but they lowered it down. They lowered the center of gravity down a bit so it wasn't so top heavy and tippy. I had done that to it. Had put the four-wheel steering conversion on it, but it's missing the servo, like I said, right now in the back. And these were a huge improvement. I don't know if you can see how we can see these right now with the light. But the stainless steel drive shafts on this thing have been a great addition. I also went with the aluminum gearbox on this thing and the steel gears inside. And then I put the steel spur gear on it. I put a little bit faster motor in it. And I think that's it. And then the tires, of course. These Deepwoods CR tires have been awesome on this thing. I mean, these things just hook up on anything. Snow, dirt, sand. They go really nice. Definitely a great set of tires for this thing. But it's been a fun car. I also put a widening kit on it. They were like I forget what length widening kit. It wasn't the best one, I've come to find out, because there is a little bit of slop in the tires. Like, it's not super, the tolerances aren't that great with them because there is a lot of flop in the tires. I tried tightening it up with some shims. It helped a little bit, but there's still a little bit of play in them. And any guys that got those kits off of like eBay probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of slop in those things. But it did widen it out, and it did help it, so it didn't roll as easily. But this truck's always been a fun time. Don't get to Lucia. Definitely getting an X-Max. Yeah, I know. The X-Max is going to be fun. I think it'll be a good addition. Chops. Yeah, I know, Chops. It'd be fun. I'd love to. You're in Philly, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is that where you're at, is in Philadelphia? I mean, you're not terribly far from me. Well, these tires, Froggy, I put, oh, geez, I can't remember. It was one whole length of sticky lead tire weights. You know, I popped the tires off. These are beadlock tires. Popped the tires off and lined the whole inside of the rims with about a strip of the lead tire weights, about, I don't know, about that long, somewhere around there, maybe 5 inches, 6 inches. I think they were, whatever, like a half an ounce. I don't know. I'd have to find the tire weights, to be honest with you. But I've loaded each rim inside with lead tire weights to stick on ones. They work great. You just stick them to the whole inside of the rim, added a lot of weight to the tires, and it kept this thing far more planted to the ground, too. I forgot I did that. Now that you bring that up. There you are, Bruno. Always with the kind comments, buddy. I appreciate that. You wait. I'm going to give you a hard time down in Super Bowl. Yeah, I remember that tire weight video. Yeah. Yeah, I think you may have seen it. But, yeah, they worked out great. Trade trees here. Yeah, I know. I had forgotten to plug the holes on these tires, too, before. And then they got filled up when I was running this thing into creeks, whatever you want to call it, the water. These things gotten filled up with water, and I mean, this thing just weighs a ton. When the tires get filled with water on this thing, it gets a lot of weight to it for sure. But, guys, I think that's probably going to do it for the night. Like I said, tomorrow afternoon sometime, I'll be posting up the video with the Typhon 6S at the track for the first time. Don't be too hard on me for my driving skills. First time at a track, but it was a good time. After about an hour or so of kind of getting familiar with the track, I started getting a hang of it, how to take the corners and lining up right and kind of keeping a constant line to be able to square with the jumps and stuff. And definitely improved a lot as the night went on. And for my first time, I mean, it was a good time. That's all I can say. I just had fun. It was the first time I sat there and just completely zoned out up on the podium thing on the wall, just driving, just having a blast. It was a great time. So it was definitely worth the trip. But I noticed like how, oh God, Shade Tree, those Facebook ads drive me crazy. You know, all you see is them guys stealing, you know, a lot of Talbots, RC Sparks, and a lot of these guys' videos, and saying, oh, you know, you're going to get this $3,000 RC car Raminator for $29 or $59. I mean, that's just a joke. I mean, the problem is there's too many gullible people out there that don't know anything about the hobby to think that, oh, wow, I'm getting this great deal on this car or something. Partial stupidity, because you think, well, even if you look at that truck in the video, you know there's like no way that this thing only costs $59 to make. But, you know, also got some swampland for sale. But you know how that goes. But yeah, those videos drive me crazy. Every single one of those ads that pop up on my Facebook, I immediately throw something in the comments saying that this is a scam and don't buy this, and report the ad in hopes that maybe they will eventually go away. But they always just seem to keep popping up, unfortunately. Yeah, I also think that too, Chris. A lot of people do expect things out of cars. You know, I am by means no professional, but I think a lot of people watch some of the videos, you know, with guys at the skate parks with these cars, and immediately try and go out there and do the same thing. And I think the problem is that, you know, they haven't honed their driving skills yet in the air control. Because, I mean, any one of the cars you can launch. It's the landing, obviously, that's a problem. If you're not landing that thing flat and landing it right, you're going to break something. So it's all about that air control and learning that. And that's why when I started out driving them, you know, it was only taking them off tiny little jumps and getting the feel for that, learning how to correct it and straighten it out in the air. And you know, people just go out and buy a car and go sending it off a skate park, and well, why did it break? Well, when you land it on its side or on its back corner, it's going to break. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big suggestion with people is to learn your air control first. You know, start off with small jumps, get used to it, because, you know, you don't want to ruin your time getting into the hobby. And I think that's too many people do, is sometimes people do watch stuff and immediately go out and try and imitate it and not realize how hard it actually is and time that it actually takes to learn to jump the cars the way that, you know, people do. You know, you know, to launch a car, you know, 30, 40 feet in the air and, you know, 100 plus feet distance, there's a lot of time for things to go wrong. And what keeps that obviously from happening is the throttle control and steering to keep the thing flat, straight, and going the same direction. Take my WL Toys. That's another car I thought about buying when I was on those WL Toys cars. I see a lot of people getting these things and getting them up to 100 miles an hour and stuff. They look like a lot of fun, but I've never had one. But I hear parts are pretty easy to get a hold of for them also. So they look like they could be a good time. I don't want to break expensive things. I don't like breaking expensive things either. I was the only time that I ever cringed, really, honestly, was like partially heartbroken on crashing something was whenever I crashed the new Kraton 8S and completely demolished the chassis on it. In fact, it's right here. Now, it might not look this bad from this video. Of course, you also can't even really see anything. I'm working on getting more lights coming in so I get a little more light this direction. But if you guys look at that chassis, you can tell it's a little bit not straight. It's completely crooked and bent to the one side. And it's also got a weird little S curve to it. But it also ripped the screw holes out of this hole here. That one is stripped out. But this was the Kraton 8S chassis that it landed on its nose from about somewhere around 20, 25 feet in the air about there. It came down, unfortunately, straight down and just completely cooked this chassis. Luckily, at the time, I found another one of these chassis on, I think it was on eBay. Somebody was selling part one out or something, but I found the whole new chassis for it for like, I think it was like around $30. I was about to get an M2C chassis for it, but I saw another stock chassis really cheap, and I was like, well, I'll throw another stock one on there. And if I demolish that one at some point, then maybe I'll try an M2C chassis or something like that and see what happens. But I think WL Toys buggy, get high speed for sure. Yeah, dude, I've been seeing. Was that the WL Toys, that new one? I've seen a lot of people. It's a purple car. It's kind of a purplish color, and people have been turning them into little speed buggies lately and trying to make them go 100-mile-an-hour plus. The cars look pretty fun. Yeah, the 8S Outcast also looks like a lot of fun. It's obviously a big. A lot of people are saying that like they've been having better luck. With durability wise with the Outcast 8S versus the Kraton 8S. I don't have the Outcast 8S, I don't know, but the Kraton 8S, other than my bad driving on that thing with landing on its nose, I've been having decent luck with it. I did break that M2C Racing shock shaft on it, which was really weird because that car came down perfectly flat on all four wheels, but that shock shaft just completely sheared in half. But replaced that out now. I got that thing running. So as soon as we don't have, single-digit days and snow outside, or as it's snowing, I think it's still snowing right now. Definitely going to head back out again. I'm going to take out the Kraton 4S in the Outcast, and definitely the Typhon 6S. I want to head down. Hopefully, head down to the BMX track. Is my big goal right now because I'd love to take that Typhon, the new Typhon 6S, down to the BMX track because I think that thing will be a lot of fun down there. It'll be a perfect environment for that thing. It definitely be a good time. But I think that's probably going to do it for the night, guys. Got everything fixed up here, getting ready to roll. See what else you guys are saying here real quick. That 8S that Kraton 8S dry weighs, I think, 31 pounds is the weight of that thing. And then when you throw two 4S lipos in there, obviously you're probably up around 30, just say roughly right around 34, 35 pounds with batteries in it. So it definitely got some weight. And that's the problem. When you get a car weighing 35 pounds, dropping 20, 30 feet out of the sky on its nose, something's got to give. Oh, what's going on, Earl? How's it going, buddy? Been finally getting the Outcast repaired. Got that thing running again. We got the Kraton 4S fixed up. For the ESCs, Horizon sent me the new ESC for the Outcast and the new ESC for the Kraton 4S and the new servo. So I finally got all those things back up and running and fixed again. So actually don't have any broken cars at the moment again. I'm sure that won't last very long, but at the moment, everything's running. All right, Froggy, hope you got on tonight. I'll probably come check you out. Go up on the Discord, give you guys a hard time. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to head out. Get a few other little things done I got to get done here. But really appreciate you guys all stopping by tonight and coming along for a little repair time. And definitely should be a good time. Watch the Typhon 6S video tomorrow. See my first time at the track. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you all stopping by, sticking with me. So until next time, y'all, be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.